Welcome back to the Everything Goez Podcast with your host, TAK. A weekly podcast with the latest sports news, the hottest of the hot takes, and the best predictions you can get. Now, Chris, Ace, take it away.
What is up, guys, and welcome back to your favorite sports podcast with three great-looking men, if you are on Instagram tonight, today, to evening, whatever you're listening. Episode 184, baby. Let's go Saturday morning. Hey, Panthers' first ever Stanley Cup win as they push a Game 4 and desperately needed to win that game to stay in the series. Vikings are cutting Dalvin Cook, and where is he going to land? We will discuss that. Miami's really hot on that number one ranking list right now. Josh Allen is the new Madden cover. Will the curse follow him this year and not make the playoffs? Who knows? The Jets might win that division. Pro Football Focus has ranked this year's QBs. We're going to discuss that and where our QBs land on that ranking. And your most underrated player going into this season. And PGA and is it LIV? They're merging. I don't know. We're gonna dissect all of this though. I'm fired up. Had my coffee this morning. We're on 3 different time zones right now, jamming out some music this morning. Guys, welcome to a Saturday podcast. How you guys doing?
Beautiful. It is. I'm like feeling warm in my house. It's about 73, 74. So I don't know what the temperature is, but it's
Gorgeous
I can feel
here.
the energy in Ty's voice right now. So I'm fired up as well.
I'm fired up. You just saw me dancing before. I feel like I'm gonna pass out. I'll be honest. I'm fired.
Dude, I'm just sick of the rain. We've been getting rain out here a lot lately.
Same. We're in hurricane season here, so like when it rains, it looks like the world's ending, and then 10 minutes, it's beautiful Florida again.
Though I think we're over 11 inches of rain already for the year. It's crazy. Like they only average like 2 inches in May, and we got 5, and then like June is wet. It's just this pattern.
Hey, Ace, are you being affected by Canada's fires like everyone else has been? Like, do you have kind of like a looking like you're in Dubai kind of vibe? Like the sun is out, but it looks like it's like orange out.
Tuesday, like Monday, Tuesday was really bad. I don't know. I was gonna check the air quality. Yeah, it's at like 60 now. It got up close to like 100, I think, earlier.
Jeez.
We're a lot better off, it seems like, than what New York and I think even Michigan had some crap too.
Yeah, there's some people in Canada, I think, that are like advising them to stay in their homes. That's how bad the air quality is right now. Those fires are still going on, aren't they?
Yeah, there's like 234 of them going right now. It's crazy.
Dude, that's
like
crazy, man.
Is this just is this natural, similar to the wildfires? Well, I don't know if they're natural in California either, but how does it?
They're saying it's very dry up there. Like they didn't have a really wet winter. It's very dry up there, and like they're well over 8 million acres burned already. It's insane. It's something I've never seen. You know, we moved from Pennsylvania out here because, you know, we have family and stuff out here. But we were like, man, when it get wildfires out here, you get that Mars look. Like you can't see the sun. And we're out here now, and we had smoke from Canada, but everyone on the East Coast is going through the Mars look now. It's like,
yeah,
man.
I've seen some crazy looking photos, man.
Yeah.
The worst thing about it, though, is the air quality. Like, if you have asthma and stuff like that, if you have respiratory problems, you don't want to be outside in that. It's hard. It's hard to breathe.
No, it's
really
very crazy. It's very crazy.
And everything smells smoky, and it's ash. It's ash that's in those clouds, man.
Oh, I thought you said something else. I'll be honest.
Ass. You know, no, it's not that.
Yeah.
There's no ass in the clouds.
Might smell like it. Anyways, we're gonna, let's talk about it. NFL training camp. We're getting so close to the NFL season, and I truly just cannot wait seeing clips of Derek Carr slinging the ball out there. I'll be honest. I mean, he's gonna be an MVP this year. Let's all be real and level down here. But let's dive into it. Minicamp, is it minicamp that's still going on, or is ending, and now it's gonna be mandatory minicamp coming up, something like that before training camp? Let's go around the table. We'll discuss exactly what you guys are seeing, you're hearing. Do you like what's going on? Do you not like what's going on? Who are some big stars that you are seeing there? But that is a good sign, because I don't think it's not mandatory right now. So sometimes it's good to see some of these veterans come out. Ace, let's start with you, man. Like, unless you want me to start, I don't care.
No, let's go with Ace. He's got a lot to talk about.
Ace, we'll break it into 2 segments here for you, because number one, let's address the elephant in the room. Unfortunately, what is it? Madison gets extended. Everyone is like, there it is. Dalvin Cook's gone. Like Madison's going to be the starter. Dalvin Cook gets cut. He's gone. How are take us into the Vikings war room right now? How are you feeling right now? Are you hearing good things in Minnesota right now?
I mean, obviously everything is, you know, sunflowers and rainbows at this point in the season. it's going to be interesting to see how the team shows up, because I think defensively we're gonna need some depth on the defensive line, for sure, even at linebacker. They're talking about Jordan Addison balling out already, our first pick receiver from USC, so that's a good sign. Obviously, without Cook, without Thielen, they're cutting as much as they can off some of the contracts. Sadly,
is Kurt next?
I think Kirk at least. Well, that's another.
I like Kurt, but I feel like the Vikings are kind of getting younger and just kind of not rebuilding, but remolding almost.
Yeah, really, honestly, the main headlines are Jordan Addison standing out. I'd love to see Lewis Seen and a couple other, like the guy that broke his foot last year out of Georgia, the rookie last year that broke his foot, really didn't get to play. I'd like to see some stuff on him. I'd like to see some stuff on the two LSU guys they drafted from the defense last year too. But yeah, Madison's the sole back right now, along with the rookie we drafted, and then we got Kane, kind of our kick returner.
Do Vikings fans like Madison? Like, as a Vikings fan, you're hearing Madison starting week 1. Do you feel good about that? And that rookie might shine for all you know, but do you feel good about that?
Yes and no. Like the whole running back contracts, or like just the way running backs are paid, is completely out the window now. They basically can get one big contract and that's it. Everyone here almost compares Madison to, like, he's almost identical to Cook. Same long hair. They look like brothers. They do look very similar. So I'm hoping that translates onto the field, because he's got a burst. I still think Cook's got 2 or 3 good years left with him. Even if you restructure the deal,
I do too.
Why not figure out how to keep them both at least?
Good guy. Well, Ace,
and
where do you go ahead?
Sorry, Madison's. This is coming up. This is going to be his 5th year anyway. So are we going to pay him? I mean, we paid Cook, I think, after year 3 or 4. I want to say. So I don't know.
Hey, Ace, in a division that feels like there's a lot of question marks, Aaron Rodgers is gone. Will Jared Goff and the Lions run that division? Will Jordan Love even be good with the Packers? Or Justin Fields be good with the Bears? Where do you see the Vikings season going this year? Do you see the Vikings being above 500 this year, or do you think it's going to be a little bit of a struggle?
I think they'll be 10 and how many? They're 17, 10 and 6, right? Yeah, no,
10 win season's not bad. 10 win season's not bad.
I think they'll be. I honestly think this is the year the Vikings should win the division by 2 or 3 games.
Okay,
like we were talking last.
Good prediction.
But again,
where's that hot take board?
Yeah, I was gonna say, write that down on the hot take board.
Well, what's more of a hot take? The Lions winning the division by 2 or 3 of the Vikes?
I think a hot take would be the Packers being above 500.
Yeah,
I think it's realistic for it's going to be the Lions and the Vikings, but I think in the back of my mind, everyone's going to sleep on the Bears and watch Justin Fields just go off this year.
Yeah, I always love these division games, because same with you guys, they're going to be played tight.
Tough, no matter how bad they are.
Yep. Yeah. So
you got to split them.
You got to win them. You got to split, or at least win. Go 3 for 3, 4 for 2, whatever the case, because that'll really make you stand out.
Well,
I think the big questions for Minnesota, I think offensively they're going to be great. I think defense is going to be a question. If your defense improves from last year, where you had all those 1-score wins, then I can see them winning that division. But I just think, and I know Rudy said about the players being suspended for Detroit, but it's not 6 of them. There's 6 players that were totally suspended in the league. 2 of them were 3 of them were for Detroit. 1 they cut. 2 were fouled for 6 games, and 1 player didn't even mean anything. I just think Detroit's the legit thing, man. I just think that offense is clicking. They're going to be really well.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm not going to say 2 games, but I think Detroit wins that division. I think it's a close division.
I think it's close with them. Honestly, I think that's going to be a close division this year. I think the Bears are going to shock some people. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I think the Vikings and Lions are really that last couple games, that stretch before the season ends. I think it's going to be very interesting. I saw something that had the Saints going 14-3. Oh, baby, I like that. Compared to CBS saying we're only going to win 7 games. Hey, we'll see what happens. By the way, just, Ace was talking about, the running back market and Dalvin Cook. My inside source is saying that Saquon Barkley has no intention on signing that franchise tag.
Either as Josh Jacobs. Jacobs has not signed his with the Raiders either. And you know what? The problem is these guys still think we're in a league where they're going to get paid big money.
That's what I was. So my source, I was telling him, I was like, bro, Ezekiel is still a free agent. I mean, you saw Jamal Williams 3 years, $15 million. I mean, the running back market is not high right now. Zeke broke that running back market, but it came back down to earth. No one's paying them a lot of money.
I think the thing that's going to happen is when they get closer to the camp, I think these guys are going to sign it. They're going to take that 1-year deal. Zeke's going to end up back with the Cowboys. But these guys are going to realize, and Dalvin's going to realize too, that the market for running backs, you're not going to see guys making $16 to $18 million a year anymore. You know what's flipped now? Look at the receivers. The receivers are going to be making $20 to $30 million.
And Dad, I think Zeke to the Cowboys isn't the worst situation. Ace, thank you for
going back.
Yeah, thank you for being the boots on the ground in Minnesota. We're going to shift over to good old Dallas, Texas. Dad, take us down to Dallas, Texas. Jerry's world down there. You know, there's a lot of question marks in Dallas right now. You know, is Zeke going to be back? How's Pollard looking coming off that injury? How's Dak looking? You know, how CeeDee Lamb needs to get paid. There's guys that need to get paid. But how? Take us into training camp. What are you hearing? How are you feeling going into this season?
I feel great. We got a new offensive coordinator. You know, they're actually getting Turpin involved in the offense now, who's one of the fastest players in the NFL. We're going to have Brandon Cooks is already showing his speed in camp.
Keep forgetting about that. That's awesome.
You have Gallo coming back from an injury who's looking better. CeeDee Lamb, who's on a contract year. I feel really good about this Cowboys team. I think the only thing I'm really concerned about right now is the offensive line. You know, the offensive line, you have Tyron Smith, who hasn't played a full season in forever. And then you have Steele, who's coming back from an ACL tear or something like that, who's coming back. So that's going to be our problem. How good is our offensive line? Because you're only as good as you go with your offensive line. And Dak is actually getting the ball out faster, which was a huge problem of him taking sacks. So I'm pumped. I mean, right now it's nothing. We're not in pads. We're not doing anything yet. So when we get in pads and we start hitting it, then I'm really going to be interested. Defensively, I think this is going to be one of the top 2 teams in defensively in football. Dallas is loaded.
Is Pollard back?
Pollard is back, but he's doing walkthroughs. He's not doing contact yet.
When are they looking and saying that, all right, this is when he can start being full speed? Do you know?
He'll be ready for camp.
He'll be ready for camp. Now,
who's
back,
go to
running back right now? Is it that guy that they drafted from Florida?
They have that Deuce Vaughn that's there. They have that Ronald Darby that's there, and I think they're going to bring Zeke back. I think
really you have to. I think
Zeke's still playing out the market, and I think by the time they hit OTAs, if he's not picked up by someone, I think Dallas is going to offer him a 1-year short term, like maybe $2 to $5 million, maybe $8 million. We have $24 million in cap space, so I don't see them offering double digits. That'd be ridiculous if they did that.
I'll say it again. I think Zeke coming back to Dallas is probably the best thing for him, and I think it's a great thing for you guys. He
won't be the starter.
He's not obviously still in his prime, but he's still a high-level running back. He runs at force. It's a good power duo. Let Pollard get most of the snaps. Do like a 70-40 kind of thing, 70-30 kind of thing.
But Zeke's your third down back that you bring in. He protects the red zone guy. He's not afraid to hit somebody, and he'll get you that short yardage. Zeke definitely wouldn't be the starter here, but I'm pumped, man. Gilmore or whatever his name is,
Stephon Gilmore.
They look amazing in practice right now. You have Bland that's coming back. Who had like 6 interceptions last year. You got Jordan Lewis coming back. Defensively, we're studs. Sam Williams is going to have a breakout year this year because he was a rookie last year and he showed what he can do. Mm-hmm. Dallas is going to lead the league in sacks this year, and we're going to have one of the best teams defensively in the NFL. Guarantee it. Hot take.
I think, honestly, just hearing that, but I know it's early, but the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the 49ers seem to have like the most depth. And I would even put the Cowboys ahead of the 49ers right now because of the quarterback.
Look, I honestly think this is the year Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy are on the hot seat. Everything's changed now. They brought weapons 100%. In. The Cowboys spent money. If we do not go out and win and go to the NFC Championship, the NFC Championship is the market now. We have got to go to the NFC Championship. We can't just go 1 or 2 rounds into the playoffs. These 2 guys are gone. And I think Quinn would be Mike McCarthy's replacement. And I think we would probably end up drafting a quarterback or picking someone up off the
I was going to say, I think if you guys don't go far into the playoffs, I don't think you necessarily get rid of Dak, but I think you're like, all right, it's time to start maybe drafting a quarterback in the first round and seeing what our future holds here, because we're paying a guy that can't get us past the first round.
If they extend Dak before the season, we're screwed. His dead cap hit is going to be like $62 million.
Yeah.
So if they extend Dak, we'll have another $20 million in cap space. That'll put us over $40 million in cap space. But if they extend Dak, then we're stuck with Dak.
Yeah, I agree. That's boots down in Dallas. All right.
Can I just ask?
Go ahead, Glass.
Who are you scared about? Is it the Eagles again? Who do you think is going to win the division out of there?
I honestly think I think it's going to be like that streak's still going on where no one's repeated in like 19 years. I honestly think every team in that division, it's going to be one of the best divisions in football. I'm not just saying that. I just think the Giants have gotten stronger. Washington definitely gotten stronger. Now they have a new offensive coordinator.
Hey,
they have new
don't
weapons.
sleep on Sam Howell. People are praising him right now. I know it's only training camp, a mini camp, but people are backing him up.
I still honestly believe it's between Dallas and Philly. I can't pick a winner yet, but I think this is going to be the most competitive the NFC East has been in a long time.
I agree. I'm looking forward to it. So down in New Orleans, man, and I know it's mini camp. I know there's not really like you're not scrimmaging. So that's what's hard about mini camp is like you're like, man, I feel good about my team, but it's like I gotta wait until we see some guys out there. But man, Michael Thomas stepped back on the field. He wasn't supposed to be back till training camp, so that brought a lot of hype around the players, around the locker room, around the league, fans. Thomas is back, and he was taking passes from Derek Carr. Not really running routes, more so like walking. He'll go out like 15 yards and then like kind of walk a route. But it's amazing seeing him and Derek Carr passing, and Derek Carr, talks about how much he loves that guy. So what was interesting is they reported that after practice, like a lot of the guys will like screw around and stuff, but Derek Carr and some of the quarterbacks and Michael Thomas went on a separate field and are just doing additional passes, like trying to build that chemistry. And what I heard from some reporters is that after every route, after every play, Derek Carr will walk up to Michael Thomas and be like, hey, this is how I see that route and play. How do you see that route and play, to get it from his perspective? And Derek Carr is even going deeper with it and saying, how did Drew like that route? Like, what did Drew do with you? He's trying to really build a chemistry here with Michael. I mean, you look at the receivers that Derek Carr has always had, and the way he threw to Devontae Adams last year and is able to hit that deep accuracy pass, like, I'm really excited because if Michael Thomas can stay healthy, I really do think the Saints have a top 10 3 receiver room with him, Olave and Rashid. So I'm really excited. I've seen him hitting our tight ends deep for touchdowns already. Like the pass is there. It's just a matter of staying healthy for the Saints. That's something
the key for Michael Thomas though is he has to be a good teammate this year. He's up for a contract. Mm-hmm. So he has to be a good teammate. He's got to understand he's not going to get 150 receptions or whatever his high mark was for that year that he led the league. He has to be a good teammate because you want to get paid. His next contract.
So what's funny? But what's funny about you saying that too is like, he was being asked about the receiving room and stuff, and he doesn't have this high pedestal where he's like, yeah, like I just plan on stepping. He's actually saying like, yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to fit in with these receivers because he knows how good they are, and like he doesn't want to take away from Olave's deep threat. Rashid's, he wants to figure out how he can fit in there and keep that which I love the way he answered that. It's exciting to see. I'm excited. Jamal Williams looks great out there. I mean, you talked about defense, Dad. Like, I truly do think the Saints defense is still going to be a top 5 defense this year. I mean, Alontae Taylor was a rookie last year covering number 1 receivers lockdown. He's coming back this year. We're going to get a second year of Tyrann Mathieu. He's going to be used. Everyone's molding and building that chemistry. And you saw what it was like the last 5 games of the season when they started to have that chemistry and were healthy. Like, I'm excited to see what that looks like this year. They have Saints rumors going around. They might trade for Chase Young, which I don't necessarily want because he needs to get paid. But
he's been hurt a lot lately too.
They're saying though the trade would only be like a 2nd or 3rd round pick, and we would give them Peyton Turner, a former 1st round pick who has done nothing for us. I would do that though. If a 1 year rental, yeah, but I mean a 1 year rental though. I mean, even if he wants to extend with the Saints to build that defensive line, you've seen 1 year rentals turn out great. I mean, I would definitely do it, but.
You're seeing a lot more of this, though. You're seeing a lot more of big name people that aren't signing huge contracts anymore. Yeah. I mean,
Ray Clark just signed. He signed with Denver Broncos, so Sean Payton got another good weapon. But there are still good defensive linemen out there, and there are some free agents out there. Like Jarvis Landry's still out there. Hopkins is visiting with the Patriots, which is going to be interesting, which would be huge for the Patriots.
He wants big money, though.
He does. He wants. I think he wants OBJ. I think OBJ ruined the market for that because he's probably going to expect
OBJ got 15 guaranteed, and he can get up to 18 with incentives, and that's what he's looking for.
Yeah.
When in Hopkins, I mean, when he signed to Arizona, wasn't that the largest receiver contract at the time too? So
that's the thing.
Unlikely. Yeah, it would be unlikely for him to capture that again, knowing his age at this point.
But I tell you what, the most interesting thing that I am really looking forward to this year is last year we kind of had a feel like the NFL was a 3-horse race, and then this year there's so many unknowns. Carolina's improved. They got a new coaching staff.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay has a new quarterback. They have a new coaching staff. there's so many teams now in this NFC side that can step up and take. Seattle might be good again. Detroit's going to be. Who knows what's going to happen with Green Bay with the new quarterback?
Yeah, with Jordan Love.
But
there's a lot of unknowns.
That's where I think the Cowboys, they have you've had a quarterback, you've had consistency the last handful of years, unlike these other teams. So I really think it could be them and the Eagles.
Yeah.
And then
Dallas is a good regular season team. They just can't get it done in the playoffs for some reason.
That's story of my life with Drew Brees.
Last year we were so healthy. We had a great season, and then we were dominating the league in sacks, and then we couldn't get sacks anymore because teams were catching on, and we got to the playoffs and we couldn't stop the run.
Yeah, man. I just saw a tweet the other day where it was like, name a team that should have got a ring, and everybody was saying the 2018 Saints, and I was like, bro, don't break my heart again. Like I'm
really pumped for the season. I really am.
I'm so pumped, man. I'm so pumped. There's so many unknowns, like you said, and I couldn't be more excited. I want to ask you guys something. So one of my favorite things about sports is the underdog player. The player that no one predicts will be good and they become a star, which you see a lot of lately. So I was going to ask you guys, Pro Football Focus came out with the best underrated player going into this year on everyone's teams. I even have a couple that I have here. I'll list a couple of the random ones while you guys think about who you think on your team is the most underrated player going into this season here. Just a couple ones that made the list here that I wanted to share. Jared Goff was picked for the Detroit Lions, which I agree. I feel like he is a little bit underrated. You saw the way he played last year. I think if they had more wins, I think he might have been in the MVP run in the first half of the season with how many touchdowns he was throwing.
I think he's better now with Detroit than he was with the Rams.
I think so too.
Like, God, there's so much of it is like, okay, do you have a play caller that is giving you what you want? Not to say that McVay couldn't. I think McVay's a great coach too. I don't know though. They have a good offensive line also.
Goff ranked 17th. He ranked 17th out of the 30 QBs who had at least 300 pass attempts with a 71.2 passing grade. He was fifth among the group with a 76.2 completion percentage. He led the Lions offense to 253 first downs. And he was ranked ninth among all QBs. Like he played a great season last year. And I think if he plays that kind of way again, I think the Lions will be good.
Dude, and you think about it, in the beginning of this season, they lost a couple quick games that they could have won. Yeah. That's a difference. They went on that run in the middle of the season where we were talking playoffs for them. So I just think defensively, just like Minnesota's defensive problems, if offensively they're a stud.
They drafted Detroit. QB though.
It doesn't matter.
They drafted Hooker. You're not a lot of hype around him.
Yeah, so what? You're not going to put him in. It doesn't matter. Anyway, hey, if Dak messes up, they cut Goff. We'll take Goff down in Dallas. That'll be a great replacement. We'll pay him $20 million or whatever. But I just think defensively, that's going to be the key for Detroit. And they drafted some good defensive players in the draft. So I think defensively, they turn that team around. Defensive side, they're going to win that division.
I'll let you guys guess for your teams. I'll read the Saints one first because this is the guy I would have guessed right off the bat. It is Rashid Shaheed, undrafted rookie last year receiver out of Weber State. He started to get more and more snaps, but from week 12, this is a guy that got elevated from the practice squad and was able to establish himself as the third string receiver. From week 12, though, he had 80.5 a receiving grade, which was 15th best among 100 receivers who had at least 100 passing snaps. And he ranked second among all receivers in that span with a 2.71 yards per route run. The guy is super fast, deep threat, and that's someone that I'm so looking forward to seeing, how he can shine this year. Because I love a good undrafted guy, practice squad guy, now has the opportunity to be part of a big three. I love seeing that. And that's the guy that I would have guessed for this year. Dad, I'll let you go first this time. Who do you think is your underrated player? I'll tell you what they said, but who and why?
I have three that come to my mind. And I'll just mention three quick. I think Gallup is underrated. I think he's a good 50-50 player going up for the high balls. He got injured, so they don't give him enough praise. I think Terrence Steele, who only got $700,000, he's a great right tackle. I don't think he gets enough praise. And I think Tony Pollard, he led the league in yards per carry the last 2 years, and I just don't think that the big wigs talk about him enough.
I like Tony Pollard. I'm excited. That's why I think Dallas should let him really kind of get the reins this year. I want to see what he can fully do. So the Cowboys, Pro Football Focus, picked safety Malik Hooker.
Wow.
One of 29 out of one. He's one. So 1 out of 29 safeties to log at least. Sorry, let me repeat myself here. He is one of 29 safeties in the league to log at least 1,000 defensive snaps, and he ranked 4th with a 74.8 coverage grade and a 76 run grade. Played great against the run, great coverage. There was something else I didn't write down. He was like 4th in coverage, dude, for like locking down receivers. Do you agree with that, or do you think he...
I agree. I mean, the Cowboys never, ever used to put money into the safety position. And when we stole Hooker from Indianapolis after he got injured, I think that was a great pickup. And I think we have one of the best safety groups right now in the NFL.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Gilmore's only going to play corner, right? They're not going to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, I forgot you guys got Gilmore as person. Brandon Cooks probably looks so good in that Dallas Cowboys jersey, too.
And we drafted that Joseph kid a couple years ago. And he got in trouble a little bit. They moved him to the slot, and he's been really turning heads in camp.
That's another thing too. Not to jump to the Saints real quick, is like you think about that defense last year and how we drafted 2 defensive linemen in the top, 3 rounds of the draft, and we got a safety. Like they're gonna be deadly.
Dude, you know what? Real quick, Ty. Remember how they bashed Mozzie Smith and said that he's not a guy that can get sacks because at Michigan they just want him to stop the run.
Yeah. Hey, you need a run stopper though.
He's really been turning heads in camp, so he's really having a good camp. So. Don't be surprised now that they open him up and say, go get the quarterback.
I like Mozzie Smith. All right, Ace, you can give 1 or 2 in your opinion that you think is like, you know what, I like these guys last year. I think that they are still an underrated kind of player going into this year that need a little bit more hype in the NFL. Who would you think?
I mean, I don't know if he's I don't think they're going to list him as underrated, but Danielle Hunter needs to freaking show up for this team because I already mentioned we don't really have depth at the D-line position. Got rid of Tomlinson, Linval Joseph years ago, who's still, I guess, can play a little bit. I'm surprised they haven't even looked out to him. I don't think it'll be on there, but I'm going to say Danielle Hunter and Lewis Seen, and then even throw in, just the whole linebacking core. Jordan Hicks, you got your guy Marcus Davenport. I don't know. We need
Marcus Davenport.
I want at the defensive level, one guy at each position, or like the entire. One guy at each position almost. I'm curious what they said, though.
So the pick for the Vikings was defensive lineman Harrison Phillips. 300 snaps defending the run. He's one of 28
I'll take that.
Defensive linemen to have that 300 snaps defending the run. Out of those guys, he was ranked 7th in that group with a 73.8 run grade. So they're really praising his run game, being able to stop the run, and saying that there should be a little bit more hype behind him. You agree with that?
Yeah, he does a lot of volunteer work in the area too. So like it's the kind of guy you kind of want to root for, and not that the other guys don't, but when you actually see a lot of stuff coming out about like his charity work and all that stuff, it just makes it easier to root for him. Seems like a teddy bear, but I mean, at the end of the day, we need him. We got rid of Tomlinson, which I think helped Phillips, and it's basically we need Phillips and Hunter to play like freaking all pros.
Yeah. Some names for some people that listen to this podcast. Brandon Graham was named for the Eagles. He had an 89.8 grade last year to his position. The Pittsburgh Steelers running back Jaylen Warren got a 73.8 grade last year. Those are just some names to rattle off.
You know what's funny? As I get older, I don't hate the Eagles as much. I like players. I think
I like players.
We defended Jalen Hurts for how long?
We defended Jalen Hurts when they talked about cutting him.
I mean, we were talking Eagles more than we were talking Saints Cowboys at one point. And I like the Eagles. I like their uniforms. I'm not an Eagles fan. I'll never be an Eagles fan.
I think it's because we grew up in the area. We had to deal with the fans. I've always liked the players. I agree. I think their uniforms are nice, especially when they do the all black elite ones. Yeah. I'm a big Jalen Hurts fan. Their wide receivers are nasty. It's just
I love their freaking GM. I love Howie Roseman. That guy just every year goes all in.
He's
decisions.
A genius.
Great decisions.
How many others do you have, Ty? I'm curious which other players are listed across.
So I did go through the list to see if there's anyone that like would have came right out to us that we would have been like, oh yeah, but it was a bunch of like no names I truly didn't know, so I kind of didn't write about. A lot of them were offensive linemen.
What about Russell Wilson? Has he become underrated? Has he become underrated because of
that could be an underrated player going into this year, unless there's high expectations of him,
Is there another player other than Dak Prescott and Russell Wilson on the hot seat? I mean, Russell, man, Denver is one of the biggest spenders in this offseason. So
Sean Payton got his he took a lot of players over there.
Dude, Frank Clark was a steal.
That was
and Leonard Floyd going to Buffalo was a steal. Leonard Floyd had 9 sacks last year. Why was he a free agent this long?
Don't know.
Wait,
Don't
what
know.
team did he play? Was he on the Rams?
He was the Rams. He went to the
Okay.
Buffalo for, I think he got $7 million. It's a 1-year deal. And then they
Dude,
extended
yeah.
Ed Oliver.
I wanted Clark. But he had a little bit of a pass. Like the
Is
Saints didn't think they were going to bring him in because of that.
do you guys? Is there? Oh, never mind. I was gonna say, is there any way Deshaun Watson's on the hot seat? But they literally just gave him.
No, they're stuck with him, man.
They're saying they look good down
That's
there,
what-
though. Oh,
200
Nico,
million, great guaranteed.
So the one name that I knew because of Michigan, Nico Collins was the underrated player for the Texans because of how well he's playing the wide receiver role down there in
Dude,
the Texans.
he was a stud with the Cowboys. I mean, with the Michigan Wolverines.
Oh, so
Yo,
good.
did you guys see did you see Jacksonville's new stadium? Not the new stadium. They did some work on their stadium. It's beautiful. Although they're gonna have the taxpayers pay over $1 billion of it. Buffalo's new stadium. Buffalo's new stadium looks like a freaking soccer stadium over in Europe.
Looks amazing. Wait,
Dude,
Ace,
the fans are
go ahead.
covered. It's a part. It's not a dome. It's not a full dome.
Yeah.
But you think about in Buffalo, the biggest problem in Buffalo is when they get snow, they got to clear the stands. Well, they got smart. The new stadium covers the stands. The only thing that's open is the field.
Ace,
Beautiful.
did you see that the Vikings paid off their stadium already? So now that every event they host there, they get the money.
I heard it was from scratch offs or like lottery scratch offs in the stadium, I guess, or like maybe around the stadium. It was due to like gambling.
So smart.
Basically.
So smart, dude. They invested the money
smart.
right. I mean, they paid that off so fast.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that the new stadium for the Chicago Bears didn't go through?
Neither did the A's.
Yeah.
The A's just got denied.
The A's are still fighting it. The people are worried about the A's because they're a losing franchise. The only other option the A's have is to redo their stadium back in Oakland.
Wait, why did the Chicago Bears get denied?
Something with permits or something with the land. I don't know. I don't know.
Did you guys see the Madden? Did you guys see the Madden cover? This is one of the pictures.
The curse.
It actually he actually looks really cool on the cover. I don't know if you can see that one.
Oh, that is sweet.
He looks really cool. So I hope it does. I mean, the curse, man. I mean, sometimes it affects people, sometimes it doesn't. Maybe this is the year he gets injured. I hope not.
I think they said 16 of the 20 or so covers are the only ones that were cursed.
We looked at it the one time. We dropped the list and we said, all right, this is how he played the next year. But yeah, congratulations to Josh Allen making the Madden cover this year, So
I hope they're cursed because the guy next to me, Trinidad, you gotta give Trinidad credit. He's one of our huge fans now at my work. He loves our show. He's a Buffalo Bills. He's Buffalo Bills, part of the
Bills
the mafia. He's one of those guys. He's still salty though about the cow. He's my age, so he's still salty about the Cowboys beating the Buffalo Bills in back-to-back Super Bowls. But I hope they are cursed. I really do. Just because Trinidad's next to me, I can rub them in a little bit.
Hey, you think about those? You think about them extend Oliver, get in Leonard Floyd, and then get in. They still have Von Miller. Like that defense is gonna be deadly, bro.
Dude, 4-year extension, $68 million, 45 guaranteed.
Let's break down some of these QBs because I remember we do this at least once a year.
Sorry, that was for Von's.
Oliver.
Oh, okay.
This top 5 list looks a little different this year than it did last year. I'm curious, what would you guys right now? I'll rank who would you rank your top 5 without knowing the list? Who would be number 1? Let's break down number 1 first. My number 1 obviously is Mahomes.
I'd have to go Mahomes.
Let's go number 1 first. Let's just do number 1 first. I'd go Mahomes.
Mahomes,
definitely.
Mahomes, clear cut.
Number 2, I'm not even looking at the list. I forget the list.
Burrow.
I'm gonna say Rodgers.
Oh, Rodgers.
I'm just gonna throw out. I think Burrow. I think it'll be Burrows or Allen maybe, but I'll say Rodgers.
Yeah.
Who would you take though? Would you take if you're on the board right now? Burrow's there and Allen's there. Who you taking?
I'm taking Burrow because Allen eventually will get injured with his legs.
Yeah. Burrow.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. I think he seems more accurate too.
Burrow's going to be the next top paid quarterback in the league.
Burrow reminds me of a Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning kind of guy. He can scramble and he will.
Allen's the second best running back in the league. He's behind Lamar.
So I'd probably go Mahomes, Allen, Burrow. Oh,
well,
man.
Should we do okay? So second, so you said Burrow.
See,
Burrow,
like I'm looking at the list and like I agree with like 95% of it.
Who would
Rodgers would be my
then?
third or fourth. Rodgers would be my third or fourth.
See, I would go. This is my top 5: Mahomes, Allen, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, and man,
Do you throw Rodgers in there? Do you throw in
Lamar Jackson's got to be up there in the top
Herbert?
five.
Let's base it off.
Lamar?
Let's base it off last year. If we're basing it off last year,
Herbert wasn't that good.
no, that's the thing, bro. Like I don't
Like,
know.
if-
I don't know who I put in that. Let me
I'm
read
in a
you the top
situation-
5 list, and you break this down because I don't agree with number 5 and 4.
If I'm in a situation where I need a quarterback and 2 minutes to go and I need a touchdown, I'm taking Mahomes or I'm taking Aaron Rodgers every day.
Yeah. So this
I
is
like
their.
Hurts there too. Honestly, I don't. Think
Yeah, I like
should be
Hurts.
up there.
I like Hurts.
Kirk Cousins has to be up there. I mean, he's statistically one of the
Here,
best quarterbacks.
how
in the
about this?
NFL.
How about this? I tell you where our quarterbacks are first because they will shock you.
That's got to be about 20th.
Kirk Cousins. I don't know. I don't think they're basing this off last year's performance. Like I think that they're just basing this off who the
Kirk
player
Cousins
is.
got to be nine, top 10.
Dude, right on the spot. Kirk Cousins. They have coming in at number 9.
I'll take that.
Dak Prescott
Then,
coming in at
Dak-
10.
Ooh, I would have said 12.
Yeah, they're
Derek
right
Carr.
Wait, Dak was 10 after all he
14.
led the league in interceptions and they didn't play a full season.
This is just Pro Football Focus. If you got a problem, shoot it with them, not me.
Wow.
Derek Carr coming in at 14. I'll take it, baby. I'll take it.
But you know what's
I don't-
what's crazy? Derek Carr's a good quarterback. I would have put him higher than Dak.
I know. I think I'd put them neck and neck.
I mean, because you think about it,
I could see that.
Derek Carr gonna be
what,
the top 5 quarterback this year, baby.
what did the receiver have last year? Like 1,800 yards.
Dude,
receiving
Devontae
and
Adams,
like
he fed
17
Devontae Adams.
touchdowns,
Yeah.
and they had
Hey,
Waller.
Let me give you number 5.
Yeah.
Number
Lamar
5,
Jackson.
they put Aaron Rodgers.
I'll take that.
After a down season, like I think you have to. Like there's not like I'm trying to rank who I would put at 5. Number 4, I don't necessarily agree with. I think he will be a number 4 this year. They have Herbert at number 4.
Yeah.
You know what? The thing about Aaron Rodgers and Herbert, they don't have good receivers that are healthy all year long.
Yeah, Keenan Allen
mean,
was dealing with injuries, and then who's next?
always
That Michael
hurt.
guy.
Michael Williams hurt, and then Aaron Rodgers dealt with a bunch of rookies.
And he was still able to get them hot too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Dude, you see him
the
slinging the
Rams-
ball. You see him slinging the ball with the Jets, dude.
He's-
It's
dude,
so
he's-
unreal.
Dude, he said he's
Chargers
having the
need
most
Zeke.
fun ever.
Chargers
gonna
need
go off.
Zeke, by the way. They need a third down back or something. Because
They need to bring Eckler back.
They are. They're not
They
trading
did?
him. They're not trading him.
Then they're fine. They can't have
Well,
Zeke there with
compliment.
Eckler. They're built the same.
So here's the top 5.
No,
Mahomes-
Eckler's smaller than him, isn't he?
He's a
shorter
Yeah,
for
he's
sure,
he's
but-
like a Darren Sproles kind of guy. Not as
Yeah.
small. Not as small.
Yeah.
but
So number 1, they obviously have Patrick Mahomes. They have Mahomes, Allen, Joe
Allen.
Burrow, Herbert, and Rodgers.
Wow, where's Lamar?
6.
he's 6.
They have
But he's
Lamar.
he's the best running back in the league.
They
though.
have Lamar at 6, and they have Jalen Hurts at 7, and they have Trevor Lawrence at 8.
I saw something the
Jalen-
other day about Lamar, and I didn't really pay attention to it because I'm always bashing Lamar about his arm. But I forget how it went. Like he's the best rated quarterback in a certain situation in the NFL. Like
He can
most
sling
yards.
the ball, Mo.
Oh, he
can
does.
sling it.
I always said it. He has a very strong arm. He's a kind of guy that can't hit you running a post route. He'll overthrow you, but he's good at nailing tight ends, across the middle or
Yeah.
running back stumping it off like Dak does.
So here's where I'm a little Pro Football Focus. Like I think Jalen Hurts, the season that he had last year, you're gonna
top 10. He's gotta be top
you're gonna
10.
put Rodgers and Herbert above him.
Yeah, because you know what the thing is Hurts
Maybe
only give
not
you 1
Herbert.
year of it.
Yeah, but he
Hurts
got better and better every year. Took the Eagles to the playoffs the year before. Went to
Yeah.
the Super Bowl the next year.
I know, but he'll get more praise this year if he does it again.
I'm shocked golf isn't in like the top 12.
Look, the most interesting thing in any kind of sport is what do players do after they get paid? That's when you really
Yes.
see what they are. I mean,
yes,
Aaron
yes.
Judge is proving last year wasn't a fluke. He's batting 291.
Dude,
He's
he's
still hitting
killing
home
it.
runs.
He's
He just
unfortunately
ran through
dealing with injury.
just ran through a wall,
Yeah,
But this is going to be Hurts' key year, okay? The team's solid. We can get back to the Super Bowl. Can you carry us there? That's going to be the key.
So what I think is amazing when you look at this list is the youth, right? Mahomes, Allen, Joe, Herbert, young guys. Trevor Lawrence at 8, Jalen Hurts at 7, Lamar at 6. Like these guys, this is the next generation. Like my kids are gonna be looking at these kids and being like, "That's the QBs." Like that's crazy, bro.
No,
like, how these QBs are.
That's my Dan Marino, John Elway, Joe Montana. That's my legacy there. This is going
Yeah.
to be your guys' legacy.
But like I grew up on Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, all the Kurt Warner, all these guys, and they're all gone. Aaron Rodgers is the last one hanging.
My Michael Jordan is your LeBron James.
Yeah.
The thing that you guys are going to miss out on, you're not going to have the ability to watch great running backs like, Earl Campbell's, Barry Sanders, Emmett Smith. Those days are gone, man.
Yeah, but we're still
unfortunately.
seeing amazing running backs do some amazing things, though.
Yeah, but see, I'm talking about amazing running backs that ran the ball. Now you're getting amazing running backs that catch the ball out of the backfield and do things with their feet. You don't see running backs getting 20 to 30 carries a game anymore on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
Now it's slinging, pretty soon the quarterback's going to be in no pads and just a t-shirt and shorts,
So
I heard Adrian Peterson's looking to get back in.
I heard that too.
Wow.
I heard that too.
Dude, he's not, I tell you what though, he's really not a bad running back.
No.
I mean, I don't know, what is he, about 43 now?
He still got it. Hey, last thing I want to look over in the NFL is, where do you guys think Dalvin Cook's going to land? Obviously, the big headlines right now, he got cut. He's posting some funny things on Instagram about being in Miami. He's from Miami. Miami could use a running back, but they're great receivers. If Tua stays healthy, that makes that division better too. They have a list. It was like Miami number 1, Kansas City was number 2. I forget who number 3 was. The Saints were number 4, which I don't think we necessarily need him.
Well, I'll tell you right now, if I'm the teams with good cap space, the Panthers, the Jets, the Lions.
Oh, the Jets were on that list. The Jets were on that list. Can you imagine? But they have 2 good running backs. That doesn't make sense. Can you imagine he goes to the Eagles?
Oh.
Golly, man, that'd be a move Howie should make right there, bro.
But they picked up a running back. I don't know who they
picked up. Penny. Penny's not the best.
But you know what? What about Buffalo? What about Denver? What about Miami? Teams like that. I mean,
Denver would be good.
If Buffalo got him, but although Buffalo has no cap space, they have $1 million.
That's the thing. Buffalo doesn't have the cap space, but Buffalo could use him. All they have is Singletary, and how
Singletary's gone. I think he left.
I think he did leave. You're right.
I don't know. Denver, Denver has that young kid that got injured.
Williams, I think it's Williams.
Yeah, I mean, Denver could use him.
Yeah.
Dude, the Eagles would be deadly with
Cardinals him, have. Do the Cardinals have?
Yeah, but I wouldn't go to Arizona, though. Kyler Murray's going to
They had Kenyon Drake, but Kenyon Drake left, too.
I think he's still there, wasn't? No, he went to the Raiders.
They have the James Conner. Yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily.
The problem is what are you paying him a year? Are you paying him 17, 18, 9? I mean, come on. No, that market's done.
I'd pay him 11.
Yeah,
he'd be the only one though this year getting signed for, besides all the franchise tags. Only one person signed this franchise.
I'd pay him between 8 and 11 because I think he's still got a lot in the tank.
The franchise tag is 10. I wouldn't go much higher than 10.
No, I think my max would be 10 now. Now that I think about it, I think I would offer him 9. If he wants 10, I'd give it to him. 2 years, 10 each.
Dude, I forgot Miles Sanders left the Eagles and went to the Carolina Panthers.
Carolina's be good, bro.
Dude. Yo, I got some interesting thing for you. Go ahead, Ace. Go ahead, Ace, before I go into this.
I'm just thinking of all these running backs. Like, could you Barkley and Cook should get multi-year deals.
They're going to sign the tags.
But they're going to end up signing a 1-year deal, and it's like, do they play off 1-year deals the rest of their careers? How do they? Because I think each of them have 2 or 3 years left. So why not just take a gamble, sign them to a 3-year deal?
Well, if I'm the Giants, I'm cool if Barkley walks, and here's why: because you can get running backs in the draft, and here's Saquon's a great running back. He's a big name, but he's been injured 3 years out of his 5 years. You're taking a gamble on him, running.
Is the average lifespan out there?
Kareem Hunt is still out there. Yeah, he's still out there.
Yeah.
The average lifespan of a running back in the NFL is 5 years? So Saquon's pushing that. Who knows if he can even last another 2 years. I love Saquon. I hope the best for him. Go get your money. That's what it's about in this league, apparently.
But he got a lot of it already.
But I'm not giving him a 2-year, 15-a-year deal. I'm sorry.
No, those days are done.
They need to address the wide receiver room, not the running back room.
But talking about wide receivers, that's a good segue, Ty. Talking about wide receivers. These are the next receivers who are going to get paid big. Minnesota's Justin Jefferson. 5 years, $160 million, $120 million guaranteed is the projection. Dallas, CeeDee Lamb, 4 years, $105 million, $80 million guaranteed. Cincinnati's in a tough spot because they have to sign the receiver, their quarterback, and they have to re-up Chase. So Cincinnati, T. Higgins, 4 years, $95 million, $40 million guaranteed. Sports Track market value has Joe Burrow getting a deal for $53.7 million a year, Chase getting $25.4 million a year, and Higgins getting $20.1 million. That's $99.2 million of your cap for just 3 players.
You got to keep those players, though. Those players are the reason why they're good.
Yeah. Brandon Ayuk, 4 years, $87 million, 48 guaranteed. Colts, Michael Pittman Jr., 4 years, $85 million, 45 guaranteed. And Mike Evans, who's with Tampa Bay, a 3-year extension for $83 million, 62 guaranteed. That's big. See where the market's going. I mean, if they sign Jefferson for that deal, that's over $30 million a year. That's quarterback money.
I think it's funny to see the wave. Like, you saw how good the quarterbacks were getting. Yeah. You saw the running back market, which has calmed down, but I think the wide receiver market is huge right now. And I think once the wide receiver market dies down, the next one for me personally, I believe, is going to be the cornerbacks.
Dude, and you know what's crazy?
Yeah, that's a good call out.
Yes, that's exactly what I was just going to say. Diggs right now, Trayvon Diggs is looking for a deal in I think the highest paid cornerback right now is $21 million. That market is going to go crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you think of guys like Marshawn Lattimore, Stephon Diggs, Tre'Davious White. I mean, there's guys out there that are killing it as cornerbacks, and you just have not seen that market really boom yet.
Dude, they're saying Micah Parsons is going to get between 25 and 30 mil a year.
So defensive line, would you still say on the defensive side, the defensive end position or like a rusher is still the most coveted? Okay.
And that's the problem. Micah Parsons wants to get his position changed full-time to defensive end. He's on a contract year coming up. And he put weight on. He's at 250 plus pounds now.
Jeez.
Linebackers only make roughly between 15 to 18 million. But as soon as you go defensive end, man, that's your ticket. You're talking 25 to 30 million right there.
Got your ticket.
That's insane.
All right. Dude, because of time, let's segue out of NFL. I'm going to briefly go over NHL because Game 3 happened 2 nights ago in Florida, here not too far from where I live. The Panthers, Kachuk comes out, gets interviewed. He says, if we don't win this game, it's not even a series. And that's the ultimate truth. It's the Stanley Cup. You're down 2-0. You're going to your home crowd. A lot of celebrities were there. It was actually pretty cool to know how big that place is getting.
What was the ticket price for that one?
It was originally $700 to get into the nosebleeds. It dropped down to like $290.
Wow, that's not too bad.
I mean, yeah, but I'm not paying that. Game 4 is tonight. And hey, I have to give it to the Golden Knights. That team,
they're amazing.
First of all, do you know that Game 1 had more views than like any
basketball?
Let me hold on 1 second.
When they have like
15
million, 18 million views.
I have it right here. Let me show you real quick because it was pretty cool. So Game 1 of the Golden Knights versus the Panthers averaged 2.8 million views, the most watched Stanley Cup opening game in 21 years. Think about that. Everybody said that this wasn't going to be a very watched game because like it's no everybody loves a World Series, a Super Bowl of 2 teams you haven't seen in a while. But
I turned that game off the other night.
I didn't turn it off. I fell asleep. What'd you say, Ace?
Vikings afternoon games get that, man.
Dude, crazy, right? So what's amazing is the best part about this Stanley Cup that, I mean, the hits. I've watched every single playoff game so far, and the hits in this series right here is insane. The goalies are trying to fight players. I mean, you can't even. These goalies are making Hill and Bobrovsky are making insane saves, and then you have players making insane shots that you can't even be like, that's the goalie's fault. Like, these players are so talented right now. I mean, the Knights are known for keeping the puck. The Knights are known for keeping the puck in the opposing team zone, and they're doing a great job at that. I mean, they are just attacking Bobrovsky, and
the way they pass, it's incredible.
They're so good, and I give it if you have watched any Panthers games, you know that they never go up and stay up. You know, they get a late goal, and who better than Kachuk, who the past couple playoff games. It's a 2-1 game. Panthers are losing. There's 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Who scores the goal to go in overtime? Matthew Tkachuk, who is arguably one of the best players in NHL right now and probably will be the captain next year.
He should become a Flyer.
No.
I turned that game off. The Knights were up 2-1 at the end of the second period. I turned it off, but that was over. Because the way they were moving and the way Florida was moving, it's like they were like junior hockey compared to the freaking Knights.
Yeah. It's good, man. Game 4 is tonight. They go into overtime, only about 2 minutes in overtime, and Carter Verhaeghe scores in overtime to give the Florida Panthers their first ever Stanley Cup win ever in history for them, which is amazing, man, just to see how far they've come, how big the fan base is getting. And Verhaeghe is the first player in NHL history to score multiple overtime goals in a consecutive postseasons. I love it, man. I mean, Tkachuk looks great. Bobrovsky's still playing well. Game 4 tonight, and if they can win Game 4 tonight, go up 2-2 to make it a tied series. That's
They have
amazing
to
because
win tonight.
if you go down 3-1 going to Vegas, it's over, man. Like Vegas
Done.
was an insane atmosphere.
And if the Knights go up
That's-
3-1 and they lose that series, they're gonna fire that coach and burn down that stadium.
Oh yeah, and you guys, I don't know if you've seen some of these hits, man, but I mean, Kachuk has gotten drilled. Our biggest hitter, Gudis, game 2, they hit him so hard in the head that he got knocked out of the game. Dude, I mean, it's insane. And what was frustrating to watch in this series when we were in Vegas, man, and I'm not a guy to blame the refs. I mean, I know I do with the Saints, but I'm just goofing around. But like, I mean, there was some very unfair officiating going on. I mean, you had the Vegas Knights goalie like hitting our players, and then our players are getting penalized. Like, there were some very iffy calls there, but it's very chippy. The energy's high. The shots on goal are very high. It's a fun series to watch, and I can't wait to watch Game 4 tonight.
You know what sucks? We're a couple games away from no sports except for baseball.
Yeah, I know. I know.
As we were talking about this, I was thinking like, oh God, the NBA is about to wrap up this week. NHL is about to wrap up. So,
And I think we're 5 weeks away from the official opening of football camps. You know, OTAs and all that stuff.
Yeah, we're like in the low 80s now until like the first game.
okay.
Yeah.
But hey, there's plenty to talk about in NFL. Hey, let's segue real quick into golf. I know you guys want to talk about that.
Or
Some big.
NBA?
I mean,
NBA quick.
let's hear
I
for
really
NBA. It's 3-1 Nuggets. I think the Nuggets got in the bag. Jokic got injured. He was pulled out of the game, came back in. He's playing amazing. Doesn't want to be compared to KD and LeBron. He is his own guy. They're winning that series. They're going back to Denver. It's over.
Yo, as far as golf goes, unless Ace has something right now, I'm just they're saying it's a merger, and then now they're just denying it, saying it's not a merger because of the terminology. So I really don't have anything on it. So Ace, unless you do.
Hey, but how smart were those guys to go to that other league and take that money now that PGA's coming over?
Yes, because the one thing is the
players are pissed.
Some of the specifics are at the end of the year. They're going to review. Jay Monahan had basically a lot of authority to not only stay on as commissioner or like CEO, I guess, whatever commissioner, CEO, but at the end of this year, they're going to review Liv to figure out whether or not they want to keep going with that. And I guess he's kind of like the sole decision maker behind keeping it or not. But then to that point, all the PGA players or all the guys that essentially left to go into Liv have to requalify or have to reapply for their tour card now, which doesn't
it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But like Rory McIlroy was talking, and he said that's basically, you know, they have the money. It's all about the money. It's going to be good for the sport eventually. But the problem is you have to mend all those freaking hurt feelings. You know, there's a lot of guys that are upset, that are mad. DeChambeau came out and said, I feel bad for those guys because they're not getting paid like they should. I mean, DeChambeau signed a $200 million contract with Liv. Tiger Woods, man, he's really kicking himself in the ass now. He got a big deal, man. Yeah. $800 million to play in Liv, and but that Liv play.
That Liv, don't they travel like worldwide compared to PGA?
They come into the United States too, and
that's the thing. I don't know if I'd want to be doing that though. If you don't want to travel that far and stuff.
But they might not. I think the PGA is still going to be. It's still entity. They're going to have PGA. They're going to have Liv, and then they have some other European affiliation that's tied in with this. I think the problem is they want to get these Liv players back into the United States. They're going to play more events in the United States. But if you ever watch Liv Golf, man, it's pretty interesting. They break off into teams and stuff. It's really interesting to watch. It's not like your typical golf.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. But
there was a rumor that John Rahm was kind of, I don't know, people are saying it was Rahm, but they were saying a former number one was kind of eyeing joining Liv like weeks ago. The one thing that I'm curious about is when did Monahan and this core team communicator start talking with Liv?
7 weeks ago, they said, or not? Was it 7 weeks ago?
Or whatever. The Saudi, was it? Okay.
I think the players didn't know about it.
Yeah. And just keeping everyone out. It clearly was like a handful of select, members within the PGA that were communicating with this Saudi wealth fund to try to make backdoor deals. And hopefully, because they have that Netflix show Full Swing coming out, I hope that they have something around like behind the scenes, this chaos or something to kind of show behind the scenes. Because I think what's going to end up coming out is you're going to either see like the top players, Rory, Tiger, getting royalties or getting like a percentage. Basically, they'll be able to get money back that they should have been owed if they were to join Liv. I think they're going to get money. Some of these top guys to basically continue repping their brands.
And they're going to love the purses. They're gonna love the purse payouts.
I wish as a player, because this seemed half-assed. It didn't seem like they had everything in place. They're still, like I mentioned, they still want to review live, whether or not that'll kind of exist as a golf tournament next year. They want to review that. They want players to re-sign in. They still haven't come up with a new name for what this entity is going to be called.
And I think that's the problem too, Ace. If they do a full-on merge with live and they change the name, does that void all the PGA contracts?
Oh, that's going to be interesting, like seeing how this all works out.
Now you're under a new entity. Does that carry over to the new entity? And like, there's a lot that's not known yet, and I think that's why a lot of these players are a little upset and butthurt about this, because the unknown is still there.
Maybe you see a new league emerge now and recruit all these players from PGA that don't want to go over to that. Now, here's the thing: if they're merging, the Saudi Arabia and Live own the contracts now, or however that works for PGA, where they can't. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna end it there.
They still gonna let so I guess the PGA, from what I read, is still a nonprofit. I guess, like however that I don't know how it can be a nonprofit. That's beyond me. But to your point, Ty, once they come up with like a new name for their whatever they want to call themselves, kind of as an organization, the Saudi fund has full control of like operations. They'll let the PGA still act how they are, but like in terms of funding and all of that, they have full say of what they want to use the money for, everything.
And I think one of the biggest concerns that people over here have is what was the ties with this Saudi group with 9/11, all the humanitarian problems we're having over there. The same thing with basketball with China, what's going on over in China. I think there's a lot of people that have concerns, because let's face it, this organization's group is funding terrorists. Yeah. I'm all against it. I don't want to be tied with that.
Hey, I noticed, you got that beautiful golf club set over there behind you. You can start practicing and see if you can start making some money with Saudi Arabia.
No, I have been working on my drive. It's not slicing as bad anymore. I bet
you have. I've been working on my drive too on the Nintendo Wii Sports golf game.
Yeah. I tell you what, man, golf is not an easy sport. I can see why people get frustrated. It's funny because the other day I drove by the golf course and I was watching this guy. I was sitting at a red light. I was watching him chip, and he chipped too hard. And went over the green, and he slammed his club off the ground. And I'm sitting there laughing. I'm laughing my ass off because I don't take it that serious. I just think it's an interesting sport. It's fun.
I've been dying to go drive some balls and see if I can still hit it far. Because playing baseball, I was always able to hit it far, but that's the only thing I've ever done besides playing some putt.
All right, let's dive back into the Nuggets. I mean, let's face it, real quick. They're going to be having their parade actually next Thursday. They already have the parade scheduled for next Thursday.
Are they the next dynasty? People are calling for it. Do you think they're the next dynasty?
I don't know. I think with the new CBA, it's tough to have teams anymore.
Aaron Gordon, Murray, and Jokic. That's
and Brown. That was the key last night. That was the key. They had 5 players in double figures. That was the key. And look, last week I made a prediction that we're going to win 4, and we were going to win every game by 10 points. Well, I was right on every game.
I'm hearing a lot. I'm hearing a lot of we. Are you transferring from the Sixers to the Nuggets? What's going on here?
Hey, I'm in Denver right now. That's all I have to cheer for. But we did win every game that we won by 10 points or more. So I was right, but we did lose that one game.
Yeah.
I think what's cool about this, because I've watched both finals, and the intensity that both sides, NHL and the NBA, but I think just in general, the intensity that the Heat and the Nuggets play with is so much different than so many other freaking NBA teams that you just watch. And I know it's regular season. A lot of times you're watching some of these games, but postseason is such a different animal. And I love Joker and like they just have so much depth. It's hard to really
they do. And on paper they have, when you have 3 guys that can get 20, and then you look at Miami, their guys aren't getting that. I mean, Miami's talented, but I think Denver oversizes them. They have big guys. I mean, and they have guys to pick each other up that are carrying. They're the hotter team right now. That's just what it is.
Go ahead.
So there was a couple possessions in last night's game where it seemed like the Heat were purposely back-to-back. It was like 2 or 3 straight possessions back-to-back. They try to get it so that the defender was Caldwell Pope. He forced a turnover on not only Butler, he picked his pocket down below the rim, and he also forced a bad shot out of Adebayo. And it's just like, it was weird that it seemed like they made set plays just to try to get him alone defensively against their best players, and he shut him down. And that to me was like, wow, if they're trying to go after this guy and he's still shutting him down, that's a huge win for the Nuggets.
The thing about Miami is they're a different team for the first 3 quarters to the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter, their differential in points is 89, and the next closest was 31, which is the Lakers. This team shot 50% from 3-point range in the fourth quarter the other night when they won that game. I knew they can't sustain that. You can't. Yeah. But the key to last night's game is Joker had 5 fouls with 9 minutes to go in the game. Now, when he goes on the bench, the Nuggets are outscored by 10.4 points for 100 possessions. So the key last night was Joker sat out for over 5 minutes. He left with a score of 10. When he came back in, they were still at 9-point lead. Other people step up. Brown had a huge 3. They had that steal that went up for a layup. They kept playing great basketball last night. That was the key, because that's Miami's opportunity right there, was to get back in that game, and they couldn't.
Yeah.
But it's done. It's done. I'm trying to lobby for our company to close when we have that parade so we can all go to
it. Get a paper signed all the way around. I'm good if you guys are good with this. I really need to use the bathroom, I'll be honest.
Should we just hold dead air for a handful of minutes?
Well, that's all. You guys have anything else you wanted to discuss?
Can we do a little politics real quick? Just real quick.
Let's hear it.
I gotta say something. This is my hot take.
Here you go.
Look, I don't give a shit who's president. I really
Ears
don't.
are open. Ears are open.
I don't care who's president. Like we have no choice but to support the presidents that's in there. That's fine and dandy. But why are they going after Donald Trump so hard that he's got 37 indictments now on things that other people have done in the past? Why is this Democratic Party so afraid of one person that they've been spending this whole time that Biden's in office, weaponizing the DOJ, weaponizing the FBI to try to get this guy who is the leading candidate right now for the Republican Party out of the picture? Why are you so afraid of him?
They don't want America to be run by the people and be a good country. They want to have their secrets and be able to get their money. And they know if Trump gets in office, he'll get them all in trouble.
But my thing is, all these presidents have secrets. I mean, Dick Cheney shot a guy.
Yeah. I mean, we all got secrets.
Bush and Cheney were involved with Halliburton selling weapons to other country. The Bidens have this history now with all this stuff that's coming up about them. Hillary Clinton, with Benghazi, the bleach bit of her 33,000 emails, her 5 cell phones she smashed. All these things happen and nothing is done about it. Now President Trump is, the one that they're worried about, and they're going all in. He's got court cases in New York and Georgia and Florida and probably other. It's just ridiculous. Let our presidents debate and do it the right way. Let the American people pick who our president is and live with it. That's my whole point. Whether you're Republican or Democrat, I don't care. I love you each and every way. But the thing is let's do it. Let the people have control. Let's not weaponize our system.
Yeah, man.
And that's my hot take.
All I want to say about politics, man, is I just want a president who doesn't fall, who is a good leader, and honestly, truly, not stealing Trump's slogan. I honestly just want to make America great again. I want a president in there that is gonna make American products, is gonna, allow America to thrive on its own, just do better for America, man. That's really what
all
I
gotta say is hug your Bible, read your Bible, because all this is in the Bible, man. Not names or anything, but I'm telling you, we're living in end times.
My 2 cents. I'm very much a moderate, and honestly, especially in Minnesota, I tend to view more with some of the Democrat view. Well, it's kind of mixed. It's very much mixed. When it comes to the presidency, I am so far on the Republican side right now, just because of how embarrassing the Democrats have acted.
Yeah, man.
4+ years. It's sad.
Honestly, if you want to fix our system, I honestly believe this is the only way to do it. This is my opinion. It doesn't matter. But you can't give control of the House to one party. You can't give control of the Senate to one party. I think what happens is if a Democrat wins the presidency, the vice president should be Republican. And I think
that's fair.
I think if there's 200 seats in the House, 100 are Democrat, 100 are Republican. Same for the Senate. Equal numbers, because you know what happens? Nothing ever gets passed for the American people anymore. Nothing gets through. If it gets through the House, it won't get through the Senate. If it gets through the Senate, if it gets through there and it gets through the Senate, the president can veto it. Our system is so broken. Put equal numbers in there, and if they can't figure it out, let the American people vote on it. Yeah. Power to the people is gone. Yeah. And that's my biggest concern. Yeah. And the only power you have is in November when you pick who you want, and after that, they don't care about you.
When they even were I don't know if this is going to turn out true, but they were talking about when it basically nixing some of the debates almost. And it's like, why? Just because one guy sadly did not stay coherent for an entire day?
Yeah. Look, I honestly feel bad for him. I mean, I really do. I do.
I think it's embarrassing for us though. When he's falling at the Air Force Academy, like that's not me like looking like, because like you said, like I'm a very like I can talk both sides. Like I won't fight with somebody. I look at that, I'm like, bro, like that's our president. Other countries are probably laughing at us, man.
It's hard. Dude, he should be enjoying the remaining years of his life.
Yeah, like I truly feel like, I'm not saying I feel bad for him, like making fun of, like I truly feel bad for the guy.
Yeah.
And honestly, how can you honestly say he's doing a good job or a bad job? Because basically he's not doing it.
There's no shot. There's no shot, man, that he's running this country.
By 7:00 at night, he's getting his freaking melatonin or whatever. He's going to bed. You know what I mean? It's unfair. It really is unfair to this guy. It's unfair to his legacy because he was a good senator, good vice president. Whatever you think about him, you think about him. But the thing is now he's the laughing stock of the country, and it's not his fault.
And it's like ruining his name. You know what I mean? Like I feel bad for the guy. I feel bad. All right. Let's segue. Great politic talk. It's always good. We should actually have a conversation one day on the podcast about it. I hope y'all enjoy your week. Hey, keep supporting YouTube and wherever you listen to the podcast, because our numbers have been growing and we really appreciate the support. We appreciate the subscribes and the sharing. Just keep, like you said, if you want to see our beautiful faces, YouTube is the place to be, because we look beautiful right here on a Saturday morning. We hope you guys have enjoyed. We hope you guys have enjoyed our conversations, and we will see you guys next time on podcast episode 185.
Peace.